Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Jennifer Young, Marketing Manager at SoftSol. We're really excited to showcase our latest breakthrough in traffic case management systems. Part of our IntelliCourt suite of products, our traffic case management system was developed in collaboration with the Superior Court of California, Alameda, and was developed based on extensive knowledge of the requirements of the Superior Court System of California. Today you will hear from Denver McAleer, Platform Strategy Advisor, Public Sector at Microsoft, who will go over the advantages of using the Microsoft Azure Cloud Platform for public sector systems. Then Ashwin Kapse, Director of Technology Solutions at SoftSol Inc., will go over the IntelliCourt Traffic CMS system. At the end, we will reserve some time for a Q&A, so please enter your questions into the chat box on the right-hand side of the screen, and our business analysts and solutions architects will answer them at the end of the presentation. As you see in the diagram, IntelliCourt is an integrated traffic case management system that handles the entire life cycle of a traffic citation from initiation to disposal. The IntelliCourt CMS has been successfully deployed and is currently being used by one of our prestigious clients for their day-to-day operations. Now available on Microsoft's cloud platform Azure, this solution is also available for on-premise deployment if that is preferred by your organization. Because it was built entirely on Microsoft .NET technology, IntelliCourt Traffic integrates seamlessly with Microsoft Azure. So now I'm going to turn this over to Denver. With over 16 years in the technology industry, his most recent experience was as a field account executive managing state and local government in New York City. Denver joined the Microsoft Windows Azure team as a platform advisor in December and is responsible for the public sector-specific partner application development, sales, and marketing. Thanks for joining us today, Denver.
Thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate it. So my name is Denver McAleer, like Jennifer had outlined there. I'm the advisor for the Public Sector Partner Group here at Azure for Microsoft. And so I just wanted to start out with thanking SoftSol for allowing me to meet and kind of discuss our platform today. So to start out, typically we work with our partner community around moving applications either on-premise to the cloud or net new applications to the cloud. So when SoftSol came to Microsoft for the IntelliCourt application, we go through a pretty rigorous step-by-step process to more or less validate the platform. And so we go through a pretty strenuous exercise around architect review, managing any roadblocks, and so we go through a pretty extensive end-to-end relationship, and it really solidifies a partnership in moving an application to the cloud like Azure. So I just wanted to highlight there. So wanted to step a little bit into kind of what is Azure, what is the cloud. Some of you may be familiar with it, maybe some of you aren't. We've got a number of different physical facilities around the world. And so when we look at a physical facility, we host and maintain and manage the entire infrastructure. And so we take a lot of brunt of that cost and more or less secured everything that goes into the state-of-art facilities there. So we use redundant power, climate control, the state-of-the-art, basically fire prevention and suppression for all of our physical facilities around the world. We're continuing to grow that footprint in different countries and where we see spikes and going into more hotspot areas. We're really identified, hey, key areas that we need to grow, and so we're identifying those as we move along as a company. We're also the leading innovator in power efficiency, so we're really concerned as a company with footprint, carbon footprint. In Washington, we actually use the hydroelectric power from the Columbia River, which is a phenomenal way for us to save costs, support a ton of jobs, and then actually use kind of some of the state-of-art facility locations based on what physical locations they have, like the Columbia River for hydro efficiency. So going around the platform availability and security, I know state and local government, a lot of our partners and their end customers like you guys, that's a big one, right? So in working with SoftSol, that was a very important thing that they wanted to highlight when they came to us and said, hey, we want to move this to the cloud. And so all of our applications, our facilities are of the highest security, both on-prem and actually for physically our software that we have in-house. And so we have physical defense systems. We isolate over compute our entire network. And we want to make sure that obviously all our applications are highly available, they're scalable and customizable, which is super important for the kind of traffic case management system. Geo-distribution's fairly, complex, but we manage based on location and the availability of our networks to run the application in a seamless sense, meaning if we see some disruptions or some load increases in certain areas, we have the ability automatically actually to geo-distribute the application from one location to another for high availability. We also focus entirely on redundant platform services and failover. So we'll go into that in the next slide. But geo-distribution is big when it comes to the cloud and high performance. Compliancy is another thing. So all of our physical facilities have met compliance certifications. We continue to grow these. And we work on these for both near-term and future roadmap compliancy platforms and certifications that we need for our facilities. You can go ahead and switch slide. So this is kind of a mapping of all of our locations around the world. There's a number of countries that we're looking at, and I don't think I'm, at this point, open enough to let you guys know where those locations will be, but for the most part, we've got the United States, Europe, and PAC Asia covered from a location standpoint. So whether the application's just hosted local to the United States, or in most cases, a lot of our partners are global as well. And so we just wanted to be able to have a footprint that scales the entire world in a highly available, highly redundant, secure platform. And so we're continuing to drive locations and different hotspot hubs around the world. So Mexico's been a big one for us, Canada, and just scaling out, obviously, with all the white space out there. So DR preparedness is super important to us. I know it's super important. Spending 6 years managing state and local government with regards to New York City government, which is my background. I know security and disaster recovery are huge for state and local government. So we do constant ongoing investments in being prepared for those type of natural disasters. And one thing I wanted to note too, major disasters around the world, Microsoft's behind a lot of those. You don't see them in the press a lot of time, but Katrina and any of the world's natural disasters that we've seen, like Japan, for instance, we're actually on site building out a cloud-based infrastructure system for locating families and such. And so I just wanted to kind of highlight what we go and what we know about the disaster recovery process. And so I wanted to highlight that. Our physical data centers are actually stored in container systems, and so they're very mobile. They're frequently checked, they're backed up, and they're geo-replicated as well. And so there's multi-levels of redundancy. We go through very strenuous simulation, process refinements, and testing of all locations and all of the systems in a very week-to-week, day-to-day, hour-by-hour type system and scenarios. So extra capacity is always reserved for the data centers for DR purposes. So we've kind of built in that as kind of a safety net. And then we use an N+1 model for failover based on we want to have a second set of mirroring for failover. So go ahead. So just based on time, I'll go through a few of these. So we have the ability to do virtually hosted hybrids, and in this case, we can do full IntelliPort on the cloud based with SoftSol. So wanted to let you guys know we've got a number of different ways that we address the cloud from a Microsoft standpoint. And so we do, obviously, big data is a big one for us. Cloud services, media and entertainment's been pretty large for a lot of the accounts that we work with. Mobile services, VMs, as well as software as a solution. We also do virtual machines as well. So we don't need to spend a ton of time there, but I just wanted to kind of highlight what we have to offer there. Go ahead, Jennifer. Compliancy standardizations across the board. So the few that typically pop out, and I know compliance is always a big thing in state and local government. So we're constantly working on FSMA, FedRAMP, and some of our other security compliance capabilities and what we're able to offer. So we're very close to being able to offer FSMA and FedRAMP. So I just wanted to highlight those. We've just completed the HIPAA BAA for protected healthcare information. Go ahead. So when SoftSol comes to us and a partner comes to us in the realm of, hey, we'd like to take our application and move it to the cloud, we trust Microsoft, we want to know more about the partnership, this is really what the partnership means when we met with SoftSol. So the primary goal and first and foremost is understanding their guidelines and what they're trying to do with the IntelliCorp solution as a whole. And so we sat down with them and really went through an architect design session. We really mapped out what they were trying to do, what pieces of it they were looking to move to the cloud. And so there's a lot of background here and pulling the curtains back of how stable, how secure, and what the rigorous process is for us to actually help them develop their application and move it to the cloud. A couple of things that were important to SoftSol were a need for platforms that are flexible and have the ability to change, and that's just what the cloud enabled SoftSol to do with regulatory and legislative standards changing often. They needed a nimble platform that was also secure and highly available. And so going back to the process in which we validate an application, we worked with SoftSol and getting them up to speeds and ramped with their expertise. We went through an architect design session, then to business planning session, and we continued to help them market and to develop their IntelliCorp application for broad use. So I just wanted to kind of get behind the scenes of how we supported SoftSol on the move to the cloud. Go ahead. Probably my most favorite slide. And so I think when you talk government, when you talk state and local, when you talk cloud with anybody, there's always reservations based on, can it handle the workload? Is it secure? What if there's major amounts of spikes, et cetera? I call this a Justin Bieber effect. Justin Bieber, like him or not, we all have kids. My son is a diehard fan. He was recently on with Matt Lauer on the Today Show, and just by simply stating the word Vidi, oh, you don't have a Vidi account. It's a partner that actually we host on the cloud. Justin Bieber's got like 23 million followers on Twitter. Vidi showed multi-millions of hits to their application, and we were able to support them without any hiccups, any bumps, any delay in their service arrangement based on the cloud. And so Vidi is a platform provider that they've taken their video, they've moved it to the Azure cloud, and from a support standpoint, if Bieber can't bring down Azure, I feel pretty confident that nobody can. And so I really wanted to highlight, the meat behind, Azure and the footprint, and more importantly, what SoftSol's done with IntelliCorp to move it to the cloud in a safe, reliable, highly available application. Go ahead.
Great. Thanks so much, Denver. Again, if you have questions, please enter them into the chat box on the right-hand side of the screen, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. Next, I'd like to introduce Ashwin Kapse. Throughout his 15 years of experience, Ashwin has spent over a decade successfully modernizing legacy case management systems and building turnkey CMS solutions for courts. He managed the modernization of various judicial applications, including civil, family, juvenile, and restraining and protective order applications for the Superior Court of California, County of Alameda. Ashwin is also an expert in workflow management, content and document management, and cloud computing. Go ahead, Ashwin.
Thanks, Jennifer, and thanks, Denver, for such a a wonderful presentation on Microsoft Cloud Azure. I feel so comfortable. I'm so sure that with this detailed features that you have described and how secure and scalable and robust IntelliCorp case management will be if it's deployed on Cloud Azure and available to our customers. Thanks very much. So, folks, today I'm going to talk about IntelliCorp traffic case management solution that we have custom developed using .NET technology, and it's given to one of our prime client in county in local county. So let's go over like what I'm going to talk to you about. First, I'll introduce you to some core features of our traffic case management system. Then I'll give you a brief overview of the business architecture. I'll give you a solution demo. We'll walk through the live application. Then we'll take a sample traffic process flow, how the traffic case moves to the life cycle. Then I'll share with you some benefits of using the system, and then we'll briefly discuss the deployment and pricing. All right. So let's talk about some of the core features. This traffic case management is a centralized web-based traffic CMS for multiple courthouses. What I mean is basically the county has multiple courthouses. You need a single installation, and the users can access the features and the data and the information in the system from any location. So that's a very big plus. Another thing, it has got so many automated processes, workflows, and different features automated for different actors and accounting, majorly the accounting department. It just reduces a lot of human errors. And also it kind of eliminates all the bottlenecks in the overall processing of the traffic case. So that kind of makes the overall functioning of a traffic code very smooth. Some of the very important automated features that this system has is basically bill calculation. The moment citation is entered and the violation codes are entered, the bill is calculated automatically. The apportionment, funds distribution is also done automatically. It runs in the background. Also, we have a detailed case history and audit trail. At any point of time, a user can log in and he can get all the events in the case as a case history or the audit trail, who did what on a particular case. He can see it any time. Also, we have got real-time minutes for court trials. A courtroom clerk or judge can do a real-time minutes. We have automatic form generation. That's one of the major document management features that's present in our system. It's all template-based. The forms correspondence are generated automatically based on the data provided by the users. Very convenient for the public. Public can use a phone or web, or they can go into the lobby terminals. They can access information about their particular citation very easily. Compliance tracking. We have got automatic compliance tracking, for example, FTP, failure to pay, failure to comply, failure to appear. All these different kinds of compliance tracking is automatic. So this reduces the human error. It's taken care of with the system. Reporting, a very important part in any of the case management system. You have different ad hoc statistical reports, monthly reports, a report for different actors. So when I say different actors, let me put it this way. Any case management system, or for example, a typical traffic case management system has different actors or the main actors. For example, and how judges, clerks, supervisors. I want to show you how these actors are benefited by the state-of-the-art sophisticated features that our solution has for each one of these. So let me walk you through how these features are useful for different actors. For example, we have judges, one of the main players in traffic case management system. He has like easy access or very immediate access to the docket history. He just had to enter the docket number, and all the history for that particular citation or docket is available to him. He can take judicial notes as the case process is proceeding, right? He can take judicial notes live and save it to the system so he can come back and refer it any time. Digital signatures for the calendared cases. Notices for decisions. Automatically, the notices for the decisions that judges take are generated, right? Now we have supervisors. Compliance tracking is one of the very critical and important feature of our traffic case management system. As I already told you, failure to pay, failure to appear, failure to comply, all these compliance tracking features for supervisor, they're automatically taken care by the system. Delinquency processing, supervisor can also do profiles or access role. They can set up users and their job roles and their access to the system using the admin feature of the system. We have multi-level security, password security. It also has HTTPS and SSL securities, and also the DMV abstract and verification. I'll explain these features more to you when we go into the architecture. Now let's talk about clerks. Very important for clerks, bill calculation. A lot of time people, miscalculate the funds and amounts and the fines, but here we have got automatic. They can just enter the violation code and the bill is calculated automatically for them. Also, forms generation, basically a lot of documentation when it comes to any case management system, especially traffic. This is all template-based. All the clerks have to do is basically enter the data, and the forms and the correspondence will be generated for them. The very critical feature I want to talk about here is scheduled hearings and filings. Now, you have got many courts, different locations. But using this system, the clerks can schedule hearings or filings or motions from any location for a particular case. So that's a very important feature and uniquely supported by the systems. Also, the clerks have got electronic work queues. All the workflows and the work going from work clerk to another clerk is all electronic. So every clerk just has to log into his inbox, and he'll see an item waiting for him, and he can work on it. Another thing, accounting. That's the heart of a traffic case management system. It's all about money. It's all about fines. So this is a very critical piece, and there are very good state-of-the-art and sophisticated features for accounting as well. The distribution formula, the apportionment for it's taken care and as per the legislation formulas. We have the daily consolidation, payment journal, a detailed report for a citation, what fine was paid, how it's distributed. All this is taken care by payment journal report. We have audit trail for all the monetary transactions, what went when, how was the money paid, was it cash, credit card, who did that at what point of time. All this audit trail in detail is captured by accounting features. We'll get to see more of these when we walk through the live system. Now, having said that, having discussed these core features, let me bring you to the IntelliCode business architecture. Very important piece of information. You will see here various actors and various different systems that our IntelliCode case management system talks to. And as you see here, our system is citation-centric. Everything moves around a citation and its life cycle. For example, on the left-hand side, we have the defendants, right, who can go, let's say, for example, there's a defendant, there's a driver, and a citing officer issues him a citation. He gets a notice, he takes the citation to the filing, the counter or the window, he puts in the citation and the supporting document. At the same time, he doesn't have to, go to the window, he can do it online. Also, there is an IVR support, very good. He can call the court, and he can do all this process on the phone as well. There is a kiosk facility. It's supported as long as it's supported by the code. He can a defendant can go and get the information about his citation. Let's talk about the clerks. As we already discussed, the clerks are basically it could be courtroom clerks or the window clerks. They can do filing, scheduling, payments. They can accept the payments and post the bill using different features available in the system. Back office, very critical. As you know, the loads of the work, a lot of work is done by the back office. Now, the back office staff and clerk, they are interchangeable. A lot of courts, they use clerks at the window, and the same clerks might go and work in the back office. But it's very important function. A lot of things are being done in the back office. We already know that. Correspondence, one of the major functions of traffic courts, how to correspond, internal correspondence within the court or correspondence with the public or the defendants. All this is taken care by back office. Also, the delegated functions. For example, the clerks or the back office staff can do some delegated functions when the judge, delegates some work to them. That are being taken care by the back office staff. Judges and commissioners, very important piece. Very important module in our application. The minute orders and chambers, two important modules here. The judges can take real-time minutes. Generally, the judges take the notes. The real-time the minutes are taken by the courtroom clerk. So I'll show you live when we go there. Also, the chambers. If the judge decides he needs more time, he can go back to the chambers and he can take a decision on that. So the chambers module is especially for the judges and the commissioners. Accountants. Very important functions. Apportions. Basically, once the bail is posted, then how the money is distributed across and different organizations. That's the portion distributions of the funds. Refunds, if any money is going back to the defendant. Bad checks, if some defendant make bad check, then how the bad check processing is taken care. These are handled by the accountants. There are so many other functions that I'll go through it. Compliance tracking, as I already told you, FTP, failure to appear, failure to comply, all this taken by the system itself. Document management, automatic forms generation, images for different events. The confidential images are like marks. The other images they are presented to the users. Now we have the OIT staff, the Office of Information Technology, the IT staff here, which kind of supports, operates, and maintains this application, which has a direct access to the system, and it will support to the different, it provides support to the different users of the system. They also have the enhancements, regular releases. All this will be taken care by the IT staff. Now comes the integration. This is one of the very critical and very important part of our traffic code system is integration with external heterogeneous system. As we see here, the law enforcement agency which issues the citations, now generally what happens, every other citation is not entered into the system by the clerk at the window. What happens, they give the citations, the hard copies to the court, and then court gives this, citations to some third-party agency like SoftSol, where they enter the citations, and then those citations come as a load. So these are like loaded into the system, these are imported into the system, so data is, automatically got into the system about, using a background process. Another thing, the red flags, the citations issued by the red flags or red light cameras on the red lights, those are imported, the data is imported in the system automatically, by the background process. The citations done by the AutoCite, handheld devices. These are all basically these are different kinds of citations or data and how this enters into the traffic case management system. Another thing that's very important is about the integration of our IntelliCode with other external systems. As you see here, AOC, Administrative Office of Courts, we send JBC's reports to these courts like monthly reports. Department of Justice, very critical interface. All the criminal history records are electronically transmitted to the DOJ. DMV, let me talk about this. DMV is the DMV abstract and verification. As soon as the citation is added, before you calculate the bail, you need to know the DMV, the driving record history of a person, how many points he's already carrying. So all this information is kind of extracted from the DMV records as a DMV extract, and the bail is calculated automatically. Once this is done, the updated information is is sent back to the DMV, so the DMV records are updated with the driving history of a particular defendant or a driver. Arrest warrant system, if there has been any arrest warrant issued by the judges, that information is electronically transmitted to the OS. Also the courtesy notices, any kind of correspondence with the defendants and the public are issued using courtesy notices interface that we have. Collection agencies, for example, if the defendant fails to pay the money within required time, the notice or the information is sent to different collection agencies that work with the code, and then the money will be collected. So all in all, you see here a very comprehensive end-to-end solution that for any traffic case management that we have here. Also, I just want to take a minute and tell you, if you have any questions, I think I went over quite a bit of features here, but I want to take a step back and say, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat window of the WebEx. If you are not able to chat, you can ask on the phone as well. We are open to take the questions on the phone as well. So this was about the business architecture and how the different modules are integrated. Let me give you some kind of solution. Let's see our live system. So let me take you over to the live system quickly. So this is one of our demo systems. As you see here, this is the site map. We have kind of divided our overall functionality into overall function of the traffic case management system into different functional modules. As you see here, there are different modules. We have office services, we have supervisory functions, we have clerical work queue, we have courtroom, we have chambers, accounting functions like accounting functions admin, we have general administration, we have very different reports, security, and then very important piece, that's shortcuts, where you can access different functionality using shortcuts. You don't have to browse through all the detailed things. Let me talk about a little bit about office services. Majority of the functions here are like add citation. A clerk can add citation using this module. You can update a citation. You can set a court date, extend court dates. Some functions are basically accept payments, accept post bail, post bond. So as you see, most of the functions at the counter can be done using the office services module here. Then we have the supervisory functions like recall FTX, void the receipts, which are more of the supervisors, right? This can be done using this module. Work queues, trial by declaration or corresponding clerical work queue or TBDA work queue. These are all done using this module. Courtroom and chambers, especially for the judges and commissioners. I'll go through it when we see the sample case workflow in detail, but these are for the judges and commissioners where they can make a certain decision on a case or enter the minutes and all that. We have accounting functions where the accounting work queue is there, the recall from collections, soft payments, bad checks. Also the accounting admins, there are different roles. For example, the distribution formula, a very critical piece of functionality, it's present in accounting admin module. Different administrative functions here, for example, attorney maintenance, the citing agency maintenance, also the violation category and violation maintenance. So all kinds of reference data, that is required for a traffic case management. That reference data, you have a UI interface where users can go and change that data as and when required. Also, the table-driven formulas or the changes that needs to be done for the legislative changes that happen at regular interval of time. Those are being entered into the table-driven formulas or configured using this admin module. Different reports I was just talking about, very critical reports, some statistical, some ad hoc reports. For example, JBSS reports that are being sent to AOC. The payment journal, for every citation, you have a detailed report for how the money is being distributed, all that. So it's all present in the reports module. Security, a very important function for any of the case management systems, especially the traffic. The password maintenance, user maintenance, what user should get what role, what access to the system, his workspace. For example, if a user logs in, what modules, what functional modules he can access, that defines his workspace. All these features are very well present in the security and taken care of by the security module. And finally, the shortcuts. For a very important piece here is the console. If I click on console, then basically what you see here is all the background processes that happen for apportionment. All these things are driven by the console module here. So having said that, let's log into the system, and I'll show you some of the core functionalities more. It logs in. Let's talk about a sample traffic case process flow. For example, let's consider a situation. For example, there's a driver and the citing officer issues him a citation. So what happens? He goes to the courtroom with a citation that he gets in the mail, and then from there the flow starts. The window clerk or the counter clerk, what he gets, he kind of adds citations to the system, and he issues a credit note. At the same time, once the citation is added, the bill calculation happens, the DMV verification takes place, the defendant posts a bill, right? So these are the things. So let's walk through these 3 steps, then we'll come to the next steps. So as you see here, from here the citation could be added. So due to time constraint, as it takes a lot of time to enter the data into the system, just to add citation is going to take a lot of time. So we have already created some citations, a test citation or sample citation that I'll walk you through. But I'll just quickly show you how the citation window looks like. For example, when you click on add citation, this particular window will open. So you can add citation here. It has got different tabs. Citation details, you have to add the details of the citation, the defendant details, vehicle details, like was the vehicle registered under his name, the driver's name, so is the driver the owner of the vehicle or not. Particularly this piece of information is very important. Violation details, what kind of violations are basically he has done. So these are here. Location and reporting. So where was he cited? What was the location of the citation? When he was caught doing the infractions. All these pieces of information is captured here. Now let's look into how the citation looks like when it's present into the system. So in order to retrieve a particular citation which is already present in the system, you can use case index, enter the case number, and you will see the citation here. So as you see, I have entered the citation number into the box. It's loading and it's retrieving the citation. Another thing I want to show you here, till the time it retrieves, another thing that I want to show you here is Once the citation is retrieved, you can go, the clerk can go and accept the bail or post the bail from here. Let's do it again. Okay, I think there we have some technical issue, but we'll continue. We'll bring up the citation once it's. Okay, let me walk you through the process. We'll come back to that screen again. So once the bail is posted, then the clerk can schedule a hearing and select a particular calendar on the list, and then he can schedule a hearing. Once the hearing is scheduled, the defendant can walk into the court on that particular date and time, and he can the courtroom clerk, he can do the minute order, and the judge can do the sentencing. Once the sentencing is done, the minutes are recorded. Then it goes to the apportions and payment journal, and then finally the defendant goes to the window counter again. He can do the submit the proofs, and the case is disposed. So let's go back to the system. All right. Give me a couple of minutes. It's loading. Looks like the test system that we have is a little slow. How about this? Looks like it's taking some time to load the data into the system. How about this? We'll just we'll go to the next slide, the benefits, and then we'll come back to this one. Let me. Okay, sorry about that. There was some technical difficulty. Looks like the browser. Okay, so now we have the case. So basically what I did, I went to the case index. I put in the citation number. I retrieved the citation. So this is how the citation looks like. You can also, the clerk can also go to the update citation module where he can go and update the details on the citation. Now, there is another important function present here, that's the docket history. If you select the citation and click on docket history, it will give you all the information about about this particular citation that's been issued to the defendant. So here we have the event summary, what's happening in the life cycle of a case. We have a violation sentencing, a different violation. Now let's say we have, so this particular driver has got, has committed three violations. So let's click on, in order to get the information about a particular violation, you can click on the violation and see the details. So California vehicle code is a 22350, is unsafe speed. That's one violation he has. Failure to provide a peace officer or proof of financial responsibility. That means it's like this the insurance is missing. Turn at intersection from a rough side. So the third one. So pretty rough driver here. So as you see here, once this citation is entered, the bail is calculated automatically based on his location where he has committed the particular violation and what are the fines related to each violation. All the fines are listed here and the total bail is listed here. So once let's see how there is another functionality which is bail calculation, where once the citation is added, it can even calculate, you see here, right? So the bail is calculated, the cost breakdown. This is very important. Most of the systems as of today don't give this cost breakdown, but as you see here, for this particular violation, this is the bail 220, but how it's broken down: the base, the ICNA, ICNA, EMAT, PA, so Social Security and all that. So all these things are very well calculated, and it's readily available. So it reduces the human error, so they don't have to break it down manually. So all these details are all, and the formulas are all table driven. They are entered into the system, and all these formulas, they can be changed using the UI interface, which for the reference data. So nobody has to program it again. Once that is done, as you see here, the bail is posted. So again, the important thing to mention here is that we don't have at this point a DMV live interface, but in the real time in the production, it will go to the DMV, it will get the information. Let's go back to the post bail scenario. So once the bail is posted, as you see here, this is the bail post window. As we came here from accept payments and post bail. As you see here, these are the different citations. These are the different ways a defendant can pay the bill. For example, let's say he is paying by cash. Now, let's say the defendant wants to set a court date. So, before the bill is posted, he wants to contest this particular ticket. So we go here, calendar type court trial, and then the reason for calendar is automatically selected arraignment and court trial, and the window clerk will see what are the dates available. So he clicks on new list. Now you see the different dates are available here. So he selects, okay, for example, tomorrow, 9/19 at 10 a.m. In this particular case, he's gonna schedule the case. Now what happens is, the moment you click on the clerk clicks on pay, the bail is posted and the case is scheduled. The notice is generated and the clerk hands over the notice to the defendant. Now it takes a lot of processing and then printing of notices, so I won't go into actual paying of the bill. Well, I'll walk you through quickly how the station list looks like. So for example, the bail is posted here, as you see, goes to the station list, courtroom, apportions and payment journal, and the disposition. So I'll walk you through the remaining screens. So let's go to the courtroom. So if I click on calendar select, this is the station list. Basically the cases, the cases that are scheduled. Now let's say I select a particular record here and click on station list. You see, now I have the cases which are listed. What happens now? Now we have the minutes which are kind of recorded for this particular case, and we have the minutes which are not heard for this case. So we have also the facility where we can correct the recorded minutes. For example, let's say judges order a certain fine, but the courtroom clerk records something else, but then he remembers or his mistake, so he can even correct the minutes. So let's go into this particular window where it can correct the minutes. So this is going to open a window where the minutes are already recorded, and we'll see the different tabs and features of the minutes window. Good. So as you see here, this is the minutes, the recording window for minutes. So here, the clerk or a courtroom clerk generally, he records the minutes in real time. We have different tabs here for the appearances, who is present in the court, arraignment and plea, trial, proof submitted, and sentencing. So once this is done, the judge can or the courtroom clerk can update the minutes. Basically, this was previously recorded. It takes a lot of time to enter the data. That's why I'm using this previously recorded minutes. You can update it. If it's a fresh minutes, it's recorded for the first time, there will be record button. He can update it or record it. Once the minutes are recorded and sentencing is done, the payment journal, you can get the payment journal from here. The payment journal for a particular citation, the report can be seen from here. Also, the apportionment that I was talking about, it's a background process, and it can be accessed, or the background process for apportionment, it runs overnight. That is the funds distribution, or you can even process it manually using this window. You can click on a particular apportionment process. You can hit on process, and then funds and distribution formula will kick in. The process will just generate how the funds are distributed. Once that is done, for example, now the defendant goes to the accept proofs and certificates. Finally, let's say for example there was a traffic school violation, and then he has or the insurance violation that we saw, right? And he has the insurance, but he was not having in his car when he was driving. He can go back there to the court, and he can add his proof of correction as the insurance here is saved, and then. Also, if there is in this case there was a speeding ticket, so he has let's say the judge has issued him a traffic school completion thing, so he can go back, complete the school and show the certificate within a particular time. So once this is saved, that means he has completed whatever is required to clear his citation on his record, and the case is disposed. Let me also show you quickly how the compliance tracker works. You have different events being recorded here. For example, the particular defendant, he completed the process of completion and submitted the proof. It happens here. Once the citation was added to the system, citation due date tracker was recorded. So these are the different automatic compliance trackers are added to the system as the life cycle of the case progresses. So this was about the system. I know there is a lot of information to be processed, and there is a lot of detailed features that need to be debugged but due to the time constraint, I can show you only few of these. But what I would request, if you have questions, at the same time, if you want to get a more detailed tour of the application, we are open to it. We can schedule, one-on-one hearings with you, or we can have, a demo or a detailed walkthrough of the application at later point of time as well. We are open to questions. We are open to a request. Just send email to Jennifer, and she'll schedule a, one-on-one demo with you as well. Having said that, let's look at some of the, important benefits of this case management solution. So as you see here, we have end-to-end solution for any traffic case management, integrated with images and the event summary, a document management system, automated work queues or workflows, and workflows between judges and the clerks or the supervisors. These are all automatic. They don't do no manual passing of the papers. We have enhanced reporting and the correspondence. As you see, it's completely developed on .NET technology, so it's very scalable, customizable. As Denver told you, the 23 million hits for the Justin Bieber particular episode, but the cloud was pretty robust. At the same time, I want to assure you, we have in a live system in one of our custom places, there are hundreds and thousands of users logging in concurrently on this application, and it's stable and working fine. It's very flexible. All the regulatory changes or the changes to the legislative rules that often change on period of times over the period of years, those can be accommodated using our table-driven formulas and the configuration. So you don't have to extra code it or program it. This is very robust system. It can integrate with external application, as you saw, and this external application could be developed in different technologies. For example, in DOJ we have mainframe. In AOC we have like Java systems, or in DMV we again have a system built on different technologies. But even if it's on .NET, it's able to communicate with this system very effectively. As I said, the very good advantage, it's available on cloud and on premise as well. When I say on cloud, that means the codes, they don't have to make any investment. It's available right away. It's available in the cloud, the application and the database as well. Again, the cloud could be private to a court, private to a county, or it could be public. At the same time, it's available on-premise, so you can have it installed locally in your infrastructure. All in all, what happens? This is one system taking care of a lot of your functionality, a lot of your operations, a lot of small systems or legacy systems that you have built in the code to take care of your traffic cases. Those could be replaced with this just one system. So I would say this dramatic reduction in maintenance and operation cost. All in all, you are getting a very good value for the price you'll be paying. As I talk about price, let's check, what are the different deployment and pricing models we have. We can discuss in more detail as per the requirement of any particular code, but on a very high level, on a broad spectrum, I could say, we have three kinds of deployment, as I say, on-premise and cloud. In deployment model, you can have a public cloud like Azure, or we can set up Azure in private mode as well. Like private cloud, that's only private. That means your own applications only will reside in that cloud. Or you have a hybrid. For example, a lot of our clients, they say we like hybrid. Hybrid in the sense you have application running in the cloud, but your data, the very confidential data of any traffic case management system, it can reside in your own data center or in your own in your database within your premise, within your office location. So you don't have to worry about your data going out in the cloud. So your database can stay in your office, your application can stay in the cloud as well. So that and then you don't have to worry about its safety and security. For this kind of deployment, I would say at the broad level, or we can discuss the details later, but it could be per transaction or per citation. This is one of the models. We can discuss details how we can work out. Another thing is on-premise. So the whole system, complete system, will be installed and deployed in your premise using your infrastructure. So in that kind of scenario, the pricing model is basically licenses, the number of users that you will be using the system, plus installation cost, and plus the support cost. So this is about the pricing model. Having said that, I think we have received a lot of questions here. So let's take a few of the questions. I would hand it to Jennifer so that she can go some of the questions that we have received. So I think we don't have much time, but let's go to the questions quickly.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Ashwin. Okay, so let's see. One of our first questions is, does your system support trial by declaration?
All right. I think yes, it does support trial by declaration. I would have one of our solution architects or business analysts to answer that question. Prasanna, can you go ahead, please?
Hi. Thanks, Ashwin. Actually, we not only just our system supports trial by declaration. We also support trial de novo and also TBDA, trial by declaration in absentia. So definitely yes, our system supports it.
Jennifer, please, next question.
Okay, great. Let's see. In your architecture, you mentioned that your application integrates with collections. What collection agencies does your system support?
Prasanna, go ahead.
Yeah, actually our system is designed in such a way that we can integrate with any kind of collection agencies. But as of now, we are designed to integrate with the central collections, which is county and state owned, and also we also integrate with alliance. So we actually do the apportions for the collections also. So whatever the money received to the collections, our system will do the apportions.
Good, great.
Okay, great. And this one looks like it's for Denver. You still there, Denver?
Yep.
Okay, great. So we have the question, is adoption of the cloud in public sector primarily state and local government?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I manage healthcare, state and local government, federal, and we have some healthcare. And so what we've seen, at least over the last couple of years, is budget cuts across state and local, federal, and so really all aspects of public sector. You can throw schools and healthcare in there as well. But with major budget constraints and cuts, there's been a huge uptick in applications that are being hosted in the cloud. And I think for the most part, the public sector as a whole, there's a much better comfort level with applications and just the whole conceptual notion of the cloud. To me, and when I present to anybody in PubSec, I always look at it from the standpoint is budgets are being cut, you don't have the luxury of going out and doing a full end-to-end service application like days have passed. And so having to become more nimble, having to be more thoughtful about, spend, the cloud's kind of a perfect storm for that, right? It offsets a lot of the, infrastructure costs for partners like SoftSol to enable, state and local education, healthcare, et cetera, with applications with lower costs, and it seems to be a much better fit than having to actually build out their entire infrastructure. So we're seeing tremendous growth in the public sector space.
Great, thanks, Denver. Okay, the next one is, how does IntelliCourt support our ever-changing legislation rules?
Great, that's a very great question. Very important for traffic case management, the rules and the regulatory policy, they change all the time. So, Prasanna, could you let us know how does our system take care of these?
So actually, our system, we designed it in such a way that we consider this one as the biggest challenge. During our development phase also, there were so many things changed. During our product development, there were so many legislation changes, things have been changed, and we continuously integrated them. Okay. In addition, even after it's being deployed, there were several changes which we seamlessly and easily integrated. Like one of those changes is the amnesty program, as you know. With minimal changes, we were able to support it. So our system is, our architecture is robust enough to support all these changes.
Great. Prasanna, we have some more questions. Very great, very good questions that we are coming. Cloud-based service, is it multi-tenant or dedicated for each customer?
Actually, it could be both. It could be both. We can do either way. Our system also has the skinning feature, so that we can present it as if it is for a specific customer, we can present it, or we can do it for multiple customers at the same time, or multiple quotes at the same time.
Right. Correct. Another question. Wow, we are getting a lot of questions here. Does system have printed calendar options?
Yes, actually, when Ashwin showed you the session list, there are a couple of buttons there. It has the option to print the complete calendar and paste it on the window of on the doors of the courtroom. It also has the options of printed worksheets, which is used for the judge to write it down. The judge has an option to write down on the printed sheets, or he can directly enter into the system. So we do have that feature.
Okay. Okay. So we have another question. What are the features of your document management system?
Yeah, actually, our document management system is pretty extensive. It has multiple facets to it. Like one thing is we store everything issued to defendant, like all the minute orders, all the notice of decisions, everything is being stored there. We also store everything we get it from defendants, like proof of certificate, traffic school completion. We store that one. We also store the courtesy notices, delinquency notices. We store that information. So it's like every document, every piece of paper, we give it to defendant and we get it from defendant, has been stored and put it in single location. The docket history is a single location. So if the user can go to the docket history, can see the complete document handed and got it from the defendant in one location.
Great, thanks. And I have another question that looks like it's for Denver. It says, will the majority of Microsoft lines of business be moving to the cloud?
Yes, I mean, as a company, senior level shipping down, and I've had this conversation with actually almost the Ballmer level, we'll put it that way. I won't name names, but fairly high in senior level with Microsoft. The cloud and how we address that as a company, everything is going to be moving to the cloud. And so we look at all of our applications of 365, how we enable partners like SoftSol to enable end customers with a cloud-based solution. Everything's moving that way. And so we've been there. We've been running the cloud for a number of years. Xbox Live is a perfect example of a multi-million-dollar environment that's been running in the cloud, and we've had tremendous success with for the last, 3, 5, 6 years. We're continuing to see more and more driven to the cloud, CRM online. Now that we have IaaS as a solution, we're really truly looking to evangelize every aspect of our business to the cloud. So.
Right. Great. Thanks, Denver. We have another great question for Prasanna here. Will system process partial payments with prorated distributions? I think this is very critical for accounting. I think we support that. Prasanna, could you please elaborate?
Our system supports partial payments based distribution prorated. All our distribution formulas, we have an effective date. So when the distribution changes, we'll enter the new distribution formula with a different effective date. So based on the payment received and based on the citation due date, there are two conditions which our system will take care. So yes, we do support, we have formulas of all different effective dates, and we do the prorated basis.
Right. So with this time, we just have final questions, and then we'll answer all the other questions in an email. We'll send out the answers to all the questions. So the final question to Prasanna again, is the document system that we have is an integration of a third party, or is the document management internally built in for IntelliCode?
Actually, it's currently an internally built document management system. Again, the design supports easily to integrate with the third party. We actually, for one customer, we talked about customizing it and delivering it using SharePoint. So if a customer has already investment in SharePoint or other document management, we can seamlessly and easily integrate with that system.
Great. Great. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks so much. So that's about all the time we have for questions today. But again, we'll go ahead and reply to all the questions that you type into the chat box too privately. And you can also contact us. So, we hope we've answered all the questions, but again, email us at info@softsol.net with any more questions that you have, and we'll try to email you back your answers to your questions that you've already sent us. And you can visit our website at www.softsol.com. Again, in the short amount of time we had, we tried to cover as much as we can, but the best way to understand the capability of IntelliCode is by using it. So for anyone who's interested, we'd be happy to set up a demo. Again, just contact us at info@softsol.net. And we'll be emailing out a copy of today's presentation to all participants. Thank you so much for joining, and have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.